I want to show you this is an aorta I built a while ago. Um, sorry, I think, okay, there we go. There we go, get this. I'm going to take the one we just made out of the way. So very similar, but you can see this is where it started to put the branches on. Got a little bump right there I'm not keen about that I probably will need to correct. Same way we've done the other ones. You know, working with that blend shape and, or I'm sorry, the soft select and pulling that edge, you know, a little anteriorly here, so it's not quite so. Okay, the one point I wanted to make, one of the reasons I used only 480 is so that I could pull, I could extrude faces. So if I take this aorta and I change it to object mode and I hit 1 and I grab that face, I can, should make this the only window for a second. I can say edit mesh extrude, or I can say command E. I think it's control E on a Windows machine. And I can pull up. Now I have the start of the brachiocephalic. The other thing I can do is I can move that a little bit in that direction. Now, if I'm going to take off, in other words, the soft select's on again, so I'm going to hit the letter B to turn the soft select off. I'm going to hit the letter G, and it won't let me do it, sorry. I'm going to grab that face and extrude it one more time. Okay. And this time I'm going to scale it. So I'm going to hit any one of these rectangles, green, blue, or red, and then, or yellow, I'm sorry. And then I can take the middle one. So I scale in all directions. So now what I've done is taken that top face and extruded a copy right on top of it. And then I'm going to hit the letter G, which means I've extruded again. And I'm going to just drive that face down into itself. So when I hit the letter 3, I kind of get this suggestion that there's a vessel, you know, with a cavity down in there. Now the problem is, you can see, not quite what we want, because the vessel wall gets, especially if I smooth it, the vessel wall is going to get, yeah, it's not really, that's the word I'm looking for. I want to show a very clean cut edge here, instead of kind of looks beveled or cut at an angle. So I'll go back to number 1, and there's a lot of ways you can do this. You can use the cut edge tool. I'm just used to using, under mesh tools, insert edge loop, and I'll insert an edge loop, and you can see the dotted line. I'm dragging it very close to that outside edge, and I'm going to do the same thing on the inside here. Use the edge tool, and I'm going to go really close to that inside edge. So because those polygon edges now are so close to one another, when I smooth this or look at preview, I get more of a, you know, the edge I want. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't think I hit return on that second one. So let's do that again. The inside one didn't seem to register. Go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see I've got more of a cut edge. The other thing you can do is you can always go back down to that face that you used and drive it further into down. Now, see right now that's kind of an awkward position, right? So don't forget, if you double click on any one of the tools, move, rotate, or scale, you can change this default world orientation to object, or component. So component now gives me a translate that's a little closer to what I want. I'm also going to, while I'm here, I'm going to do the same thing. Scale tool. We're going to say component as well. And I'm just going to scale it just a little smaller. So there's no. You want to make sure when you push that down, you don't accidentally push it through the wall. Now you're not going to look at this very much. I mean, it's not part of the assignment where we're going to focus on that trunk. So you're okay. You could do other things with this if you wanted to. You could certainly go back to the edge loop and add another edge loop here, and maybe hit return until you're done. Say edge, double click, and then maybe go back to that W key. Maybe this time you do want it in the world, and just move it a little bit so you get a little more of a round edge. You can, a vessel that's not quite so rigid again. Don't forget, you can always use the paintbrush or the lasso tool to lasso this edge. So if I want to lasso this whole collection of edges and move them and maybe even rotate them a little bit to kind of get a little more of that curve, I can do something like that. Okay. So that just kind of makes it. Now that's how I made all the other vessels, and you would go ahead and make the common carotid, and that's how I made the celiac trunk and the renal. Okay, so you can go ahead and use the same technique. If you find you're protruding out a little bit, this is a little bit odd here. You can go ahead and maybe grab that edge, grab the other edge, scale them a little shorter so it isn't quite so. Okay, and then you can get it maybe looking a little more natural. Okay, so that's one way to do all this. You don't need to go as far as I did here. This was a vessel actually used in a biliary surgery, so you don't need to continue your vessels that far. They can just be little stubs, just indicating where those vessels are. All right.